Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm trying a different format with the microphone. Oh, I think I did that in my Rex Orange County, which you should go watch. Hi, if you're new here, my name's Kyra, and make sure you go follow me on TikTok. If you're here from TikTok, from the video, I don't know when this is going up or when that TikTok went up, but hi. Also follow me on Instagram, and yeah, let's get started. Today we're going to talk about how Shein literally made the fashion industry create a new word called ultra fast fashion. Just so the fashion industry gets it across to people that this is ultra fast fashion, like not just fast fashion, but it's ultra fast fashion. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this was because I saw on Instagram, I follow a lot of sustainable accounts and things like that. And I saw a lot of people posting about Shein and how bad at it's gotten. I will be referencing this post a lot. So this post is a collaborative post between environment and impact, and it basically tells about how Shein and why Shein has caused the fashion industry to call it ultra fast fashion. So Shein pushes out between 2,000 and 10,000 items every day. And they're talking about why it's a massive issue. Obviously, that's a lot of items. And at the rate that people are consuming, it's just too much and things are insane. And it says earlier this year, Shein officially became the largest fashion retailer in the world. Part of the brand's success is due to the sheer number of products the company pushes out daily. It lists somewhere between 2,000 and 10,000 items on its website daily. Even in the context of fast fashion, this is a massive figure. This is how it compares to other fast fashion brands. They mentioned Gap is 12,000, H&M 25,000, Zara 35,000, and Shein is literally in the 1.3 millions. And Shein uses the test and repeat business model for each item posted to create a small test batch of clothing, roughly 50 to 100 products. So obviously, that is a lot of products. And it says that just in one day, 1 million products could be created. And it says that 6% of the designs, only 6% of their designs stay on Shein's site for more than 90 days. And obviously, Shein is notorious for stealing from smaller brands and designers, as it is. And, Shein was made by or founded as kind of, I believe, a wholesale company. Shein, when it first started in October, it's almost going to be like how many years? October 2008, doesn't have a day, but October 2008, so it's been how many years? I can't do math. But it was first known as a drop shipping business than an actual retailer. If you don't know what drop shipping is, it's basically going through a third party, and I believe if someone orders something, that's what a lot of people in Depop do, is drop shipping. So someone orders a shirt, right? A really cute shirt. And they're like, oh, it's going to take 3 weeks to ship to you, even though it's you should be able to get it within a week. I believe the policy is a week for Depop, and then someone can report you or do something. I don't know if it's changed, but usually it's a week. But the reason why they say 3 weeks is because they're getting it from a third party for really cheap for wholesale. They mark it up. So maybe the thing they bought was $3, making numbers up right now, $3, and they sold it to you for 30 or 25, okay? So that's basically drop shipping. Getting from a third party, they ship it to you, and then you ship it to the person. So that's what Shein was before it wasn't actually considered a retailer. So it kind of makes sense that it was kind of already in this kind of drop shipping business model with cheap products and whatever. It says that currently the company is not involved in clothing design and manufacturing, but it obtains its products from the wholesale company, a wholesale clothing market in Guangzhou, and it's based in China, and it ships across 220 countries, and it's the world's largest fashion retailer as of 2022. So it's insane that this company started from just a drop shipping business, I guess, to a full-blown retailer. And I even think now they're doing Shein makeup, which is pretty crazy because it's I wouldn't really trust Shein makeup. I hardly even trust their clothing, because I know even their clothing is pretty much disintegrates or feel super cheap, because obviously they're made with chemicals and they're not made out of the best material. They're made out of the cheapest material probably, and their stitching's not good because it's they need to do it fast when people are making these clothing. And the whole thing for me personally, besides environmental impact of fast fashion, is the way that they're treating workers. That's like number one for me, and second is environmental impact, because Shein workers are like beyond exploited. Like, I can't even explain it. Like, they're beyond exploited. And I even read one post this morning that workers wash their hair on their lunch breaks. Like, I don't think that I can't even imagine having to do that kind of labor, like hardly being able to afford anything. It's just like, that's just how, I don't want to say that's just how it is, but that's just how it is. I got grass in my hair. That's just like how it is, you know? And it's, we aren't affected by it much. Not in the way that these workers are obviously affected by it. But don't get me wrong, we have exploitation in the US as well. Countries like China also have labor laws. And Shein has like commented on it briefly, saying like, oh, they're really against exploitation, and whenever they're reported exploitation, then they take care of it, which is absolutely a lie, because these people are working in the worst conditions. This is one article from The Cut, and it says that a new investigation by the UK broadcaster Channel 4 has uncovered details about the business practices of the Chinese fast fashion company Shein. The outlet sent an undercover worker to film inside two factories in Guangzhou that supply clothes to the fast fashion. Okay, exactly. So Guangzhou is the one that supplies them. In one factory, Channel 4 found that workers receive a base salary of 4,000 yuan per month, which is roughly 556 American US dollars, make 500 pieces of clothing per day, and that their first month's pay is withheld from them. In another factory, workers received the equivalent of 4 cents per item. Workers in both factories were working up to 18-hour days and were given only 1 day off a month. At one factory, the outlet found women washing their hair during lunch. Okay, this was the article. Women washing their hair during lunch breaks, and workers were penalized 2/3 of their daily wage if they made a mistake on a clothing item. So not only are these people literally living in poverty wages, they also get penalized if they mess up a clothing item, 2/3 of their daily wage. Like, they're really not making anything, and then they're penalized 2/3 of their wage. And that's 500 pieces of clothing a day, and they have 18-hour days. The reported hours and working conditions violate China's labor laws. Shein did not immediately respond to the Cut's request for comment, but told Business Insider, any non-compliance with this code is dealt with swiftly, and we will terminate partnerships that do not meet our standards, which is what it has said when it has been accused of illegal labor practices. My phone ran out of storage. What was I saying? So anyways, basically what I was saying was that basically people are really, obviously people want to help and don't want to support fast fashion, but we've come to a point where this is all anyone can actually afford. However, I do think it's pretty ironic that Gen Z is all about like really involved in activism, but I feel like Gen Z is like really involved in activism, and I feel like it's kind of ironic that the same generation who is about the environment and that talks a lot about it, mental health, things that older generations don't really talk about or don't really find important, is still consuming things from Shein and knowing it's like a fast fashion retailer. Shein isn't the main problem. I mean, it's a crucial problem. There's always going to be like fast fashion and things. There's still Forever 21, H&M, Zara, Gap, basically any kind of mall retailer, because it's just cheap, and that's just how the market is for fashion. Unless it's like higher brands, like high fashion, basically. But I think that it's going to be a struggle for a while, but the fact that Shein is able to still exploit its workers and produce so much product that it goes into waste, I feel like there just needs to be more regulated laws, I guess, because obviously people are still going to consume it. But if it's regulated to at least bring it down back to fast fashion and not have it be ultra fast fashion, like if you have to make a new word in the fashion industry for ultra fast fashion, I think that's becoming more than just a problem. And people are saying that the most important thing that is missing from this conversation is the fact of affordability and how normal people cannot find the alternatives for it. Someone quotes something from CBS Marketplace, October 2021. It says, scientists found that a jacket for toddlers purchased from Shein contained almost 20 times the amount of lead that Health Canada says is safe for children. A red purse also purchased from Shein had more than 5 times the threshold. Not only are they exploiting workers, their products are bad for the environment. People are over-consuming. Millions, tons of clothing is being discarded. They also have like literal toxins and chemicals in their clothing, which is not only going to harm the consumer, but is harming the workers that are making it. Because these people have to be getting sick if they're around that much lead. They're not being paid, so it's not even probably they don't even have insurance, or they can't even go to the hospital and pay for their hospital visits. But it's all in the name of Gen Z and making TikTok calls and things like that. But don't get me wrong, not everyone from Shein is a Gen Zer. But I feel like the highest consumer is going to be Gen Z. Let's look it up. So it says Shein's target audience are price-driven customers who love online shopping from all over the world. The most common purchases on the website come from Gen Z consumers, mostly women, parents of children from 1 to 15 years old. I think that a lot of this obviously has to do with Gen Z, and I do think that ultra fast fashion equals Gen Z, which equals TikTok, because TikTok just encourages so many people to just go through things, and also just the fact that TikTok is literally like an app that is for people who don't contribute to people not having a very long attention span. Because the attention span has been getting shorter and shorter. With Shein making so many products, the cycle of trends is also becoming short, and it's also becoming like inherently obvious that people are buying just trends and just discarding it. And like I said before, Shein isn't the only problem. There's things like Princess Polly, Boohoo, even like Dolls Kill, and Dolls Kill is a whole another video that I also made. Things like that. And a lot of companies are also greenwashing things and just making it seem like they're more environment conscious when they're not. And Shein doesn't do any of that, which, I mean, I guess thanks for being kind of honest about your marketing and not passing it off as greenwashing. But I think it just comes down to that we as consumers can only do so much. And this becomes discussion of class, of capitalism, of how people spend their money and how things are marketed. And it doesn't really surprise me that a company like this is able to exploit its workers and like grab all these Gen Zers, especially from the US, all these influencers all of a sudden like latching onto this. And it just like, no, I won't call out any particular influencer, but there's this one influencer that I follow, and I'm thinking about not. But anyways, so they are obviously a TikToker, they're an influencer on Instagram, and it's like, I know that it's hard, and it's hard to find sustainable clothing, blah, 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 thrifting's all like popular. And something that I want to mention that I saw in the comments is that now even thrifting is becoming more expensive because everything's just being inflated, and like you can't even go into the thrift store now. And even Goodwill's so expensive, and for what? Literally for what? And it's like, notice that too. And one of my thrift stores that I really like is Eco Thrift, because they still have really good prices and you can find some really good things, but you have to like look through it. But some people don't have the time to look through thrift stores, and thrift stores are just inherently becoming more expensive. Then you got other stores, like the store I used to work at was a consignment thrift store or whatever, buy sell trade, and people will sell their stuff and then we resell it, and then it's just like things are just expensive all around and people can't really afford anything right now, just in general. And plus everyone's economic background class is different. Even in the thrift stores, it's just being overtaken by Shein and all these other fast fashion brands. I just like, it sucks when I'm like at the thrift store. Even when I posted my thrift vlog, like I got a Shein dress just because I know I didn't buy directly from Shein, and also it was really cute. So I was like, I feel like I could take this one and I just get disappointed when something's cute and I see in the thrift store inside Forever 21 or like Shein and stuff like that. But I think I have like 2 pieces of Shein clothing. I think these pants and then that dress. This was from a clothing swap. And then I forgot what these were from. I'm pretty sure these are Shein, but I didn't buy from Shein. But I tried to, like, if I happen to like it and it's at the thrift and it's from Shein, then I'll probably buy it because it's like, it might go in the trash anyway or be like discarded. So I'd rather like buy it from the second hand and just do my part, and knowing that I never bought directly from Shein. And it's not to shame anyone if you do buy from Shein, because I know some of my friends do buy from Shein, and it's harder for, you know, plus size people, women in particular, to buy clothing that fits them and that's like actually cute. And a lot of the times it's going to be from fast fashion clothing, because a lot of sustainable brands don't really have the bigger sizes. And even for myself as like a mid-size person, like it's sometimes hard for me to find clothing, but not as hard as plus size people. And I feel like a lot of times that when people think of like fast fashion, I feel like a lot of times Shein is the first thing that people think of. Is just, if you say fast fashion, it's going to be like Shein. And I just think, as a person who's a part of Gen Z, because I'm a part of Gen Z apparently, I feel like it's kind of hypocritical of us to like be all this activism and stuff, and then like we're like the highest consumer of Shein, which only makes sense because we also don't have a lot of money and a lot of us are broke, you know, and we don't like working. I will say that Gen Z, we don't like working, or maybe I'm speaking for everyone, but I don't think anyone wants to work. No one really wants to work if it's a job that they don't really like especially if it's a minimum wage job. And I don't think I'm saying anything that anyone's not thinking or feeling. But I think that's pretty much it for today's video. What do you guys think is, like, do you guys shop at Shein? Do you think there's a solution to this? Because I honestly don't think it's going to get any better if slow fashion has become more accessible and it's only available to people who do have money. But that's even like people who do have money are still resorting to things like Shein for some reason, or Princess Polly, or Boohoo, and things like that. So yeah, so that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.